Earlier this week, a landmark trial began, major internet companies defending against accusations the platforms are intentionally addictive. And at the same time, many consider their own screen time and relationship with phones. While AI is changing the conversation, it is a lot. Neuroscientist and best-selling author Sarah Baldeo is joining us to explain what research shows regarding emotional processing, communication, and relationship in regards to all this. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start off with texting behavior. How can that actually change our brain?
So, Kent, I'm sure both of us spend enough time on our phones. One of the first things we look at in neuroscience research is we track language development to see how the brain is evolving. That's why the first time your baby talks is so important, because that's how humans bond. So here's the issue. When I pick up my phone and I start texting, I'm separating language from emotions. And I'll write something like, I can't wait to see you, but with zero expression on my face. So neuroscience shows that emotional communication relies on multiple systems, mainly in language, Broca's area and Wernicke's area, which process language and the oldest part of your brain, which processes emotion. So when we reduce communications to just texting with each other and emojis and abbreviations, we are underusing those neurological systems in the brain. And the result is we see this decline in the hormone linked to trust and bonding, which is called oxytocin. And so social isolation doesn't just come from being by yourself, it comes from communicating with zero emotional depth.
That is very interesting. Think about all the times you type LOL or ha ha ha. You do not laugh at all.
You're not laughing.
Yeah,
Not
very
laughing.
interesting stuff. Now, how about the research? What does it tell us about AI and emotional cognition?
So when humans change their communication style with AI, repeatedly we see that the over reliance on generative AI is skewing brain activity. Now, here's the caveat. Sometimes it's for better, sometimes it's for worse. There's major university programs at MIT and Stanford, and they're looking at how generative AI affects emotional perception, things like boredom, frustration, validation, but also how AI can tell based on how you communicate it with it how you are feeling. So what we're seeing is AI doesn't have emotions. I always remind people it's not sentient, not self-aware, but humans are changing how they talk to each other. And because we're built to mimic, when we spend a lot of time communicating with AI, we start to mirror the tone. We start to summarize people's feelings in the same way. And in my own research labs, what we see is that heavy AI users, specifically with generative AI, they are struggling with figuring out how other humans are processing emotions, especially things like disagreement and silence. So the concern is we really need to be careful not to outsource our emotional processing for AI. It just makes humans tend to avoid emotion altogether because they're used to AI not pushing back to them. They don't want to talk to other people.
Interesting. Now, in your book, you talk about going cold turkey on tech. What does that look like in actual practice?
So I've got four really, really great tips for anybody watching. Number one, we know about limiting screen time. I've got a teenager, I do it, but limit screen time by app, not just by hours. So your brain obviously wasn't designed for these constant dopamine spikes you get when you're doom scrolling. Use app level limits. So limit, okay, 30 minutes on Instagram, 1 hour on Facebook, 1 hour on LinkedIn. So limit by app. Number two, reintroduce complicated communication. What do I mean by that? Don't let texting be the only way you communicate with your social circle. Mix in phone calls, voice notes, FaceTime. And if you want to be old school, actually see people in person. Your brain needs that varieties to stay emotionally sharp. Number three, keep your phone out of reach. Obviously, I'm not following that today, but reaching for your phone during those nighttime moments when you wake up, that exposes your brain to blue light, to stimulation, and that's the time when your brain is most vulnerable. So keep your phone out of reach as much as you can, especially when you're sleeping. And four, pause before you go to AI and say, hey, is my spouse wrong? Are they right? Should I agree with them? Reflect before you engage with generative AI and technology. AI doesn't know who you are. It doesn't have lived memory. It might seem like it does, but you really, really want to try to think about the answer to these emotional questions before you replace it.
Always fantastic advice. Sarah, we appreciate your time every time you're with us. You can find Sarah's book, 100 Ways to Future-Proof Your Brain, at Indigo Books, and connect with her at sarahbaldeo.com. Have a great weekend, Sarah.
You too, Ken. Take care.